Hey everyone, Jennifer Lee Chan here from NBC Sports Bay Area. It is Sunday, and I didn't have a chance to do a video last night after Jordan Mason was traded to the Vikings. So here we are. Jordan Mason traded to the Vikings, and while I know it's shocking as he was the number one running back in running wide receiver, running back, that's what we're going to talk about. He was the number one running back in yards for the 49ers in 2024, but the fact that he is not a great pass catcher or route runner, hence not a wide receiver, he's a running back. I think that's why the 49ers realized that they could move on from Jordan Mason. 49ers have Christian McCaffrey, they will have Isaac Orendo, and they will have Patrick Taylor. Those are guys who, not so much Patrick Taylor, but Isaac Orendo and Christian McCaffrey, those are guys who can carry the ball and then also run routes and catch the ball. Jordan Mason, Isaac Orendo, they're both not as good at picking up the blitz as Christian McCaffrey is. I think it also indicates Jordan Mason being traded that Christian McCaffrey's health is on track to be ready for week one. If there was any question about Christian McCaffrey not being ready to play or not being headed in the right direction in his recovery from his bilateral Achilles tendonitis and his PCL strain in his knee, I think the 49ers would have kept Jordan Mason or made a bigger effort to keep him. So I think it's a good sign that Jordan Mason being traded to the Vikings about Christian McCaffrey. Now, it's a 2-year, $7 million deal for Jordan Mason, fully guaranteed. And then he has the options or incentive packages to raise that contract amount, the value of it to $12 million. Now, that's good for Jordan Mason, obviously. But it's also good for the 49ers because it shows players around the league that the 49ers will take care of their own players. So instead of holding on to him and maybe paying him less, he can go out and seek other uh, employment with other teams. And it turns out to be a very lucrative deal for Jordan Mason. And it's a win-win, really. The 49ers get a 2026 sixth round pick. So a sixth round pick for Jordan Mason. And then they also swap picks in 2025. So they move from 187, which is in the sixth round, to 160, which is in the fifth round. Now, those fifth round picks have been really good for the 49ers. Those fifth round picks, if you look at it, man, okay, 2017, it was George Kittle, Trent Taylor. In 2018, DJ Reed, excellent player. 49ers messed up huge there on not keeping him. I think they thought they were going to be able to kind of hide him, put him on IR, be able to bring him back. That did not work out, and the Seahawks snatched him up, and he has been playing really well ever since. 2019, Dre Greenlaw. 2020, Colton McKivitz. 2021, Jalen Moore, Diameter Lenore, and Talanoa Hufanga. So, I mean, really good fifth round picks. 2022, Sam Womack, still playing in the league, doing a pretty good job. 2023, Darrell Luter and Robert Beal. Those two guys are still on the team. They are contributing. Darrell Luter kind of a little bit slowed down because he had an injury in his first year. So I think we'll see a little bit more out of him this year. They did not have a fifth round pick in 2024. So the 49ers now have 11 picks. 11 picks. They may use all of them. They may not use all of them. They may try to combine them to move up. But this is a good draft for running backs. So Jordan Mason moving on. Again, it's a tough one, I think, for 49ers fans to swallow, seeing all of these players that are household names moving on to other teams. But they are really trying to make room for Brock Purdy's enormous salary that's coming up. So let's go back to the draft picks. Round one, they have number 11. I think they go for a playmaker in this round. I think it's either a defensive end or it's a defensive tackle. I mean, with they getting rid of Javon Hargrave, Malik Collins, and then, of course, Leonard Floyd, I think they're going to replenish in this draft. And the defensive line in this draft is very good. I think it's also very good at running back. There's some interesting guys here that can catch passes. They will do blitz pickups, that type of thing. It's a good group of running backs. And so Jordan Mason, Isaac Rendo is going to need to work on a little bit. I mean, we saw them out there. Pass protection is a little bit tougher for them. Christian McCaffrey is just one of one. He's a guy who is a route runner. He's a running back. He is a pass protector. He's a blocker. I mean, he does it all. So I think that it's going to be more youth again at running back. Tough one, though. Of course, Jordan Mason was well liked by the team and by fans. Um, but number 11 in the draft. They haven't picked this high in a long time. So, number 11 in the draft, they are going to get a playmaker. I think it's going to be on the defensive line. Round two, they've got number 43. Round three, they have number 75 and number 100, which is a comp pick. In round four, they have 113 and they have 138. 138 is also a comp pick. In round five, now they have two picks in round five. It's 147 and 160. In round seven, so they don't have any picks in round six. In round seven, they have 227, 249, and 252, which is also a comp pick. 11 picks. With the guys that have left the team, they are going to bring in this youth. They're going to have them try out. They're going to have them be around. And, they're not going to be able to keep them all, but they are going to keep quite a few of them. With all these moves, one thing that is really astounding, the 49ers are at number one in the league in one thing that is really not what they want to be number one in the league for, and that is dead cap space. They are the highest in the league, $77 million of dead cap in 2025. It's not great. So you've got Javon Hargrave, dead cap hit. There's Deebo Samuel with a $31 million dead cap hit. It's a lot of money that they have that's just going to go against the cap, but it's a reset year. This is a huge reset year. They've got to pay Brock Purdy, and his money won't come go against the cap this year. So the good thing is they're going to pay Brock Purdy a ton of money. But because he still has 1 year left on his rookie deal, that's the money that goes against the cap this year. So as his he can get a signing bonus. It could be a huge amount of money. That money will go to him immediately, but it won't count against the cap until later on. This year, Brock Purdy's number against the cap is pretty minimal, all things considered. So they've got to get that done. I think they will. I don't think it's going to be as easy as we had once thought. What I did find out is that Kyle Strongen was Trevor Lawrence's agent, and then they parted ways. So Brock Purdy is his first real significant mega quarterback contract. Now, kids are coming out of high school getting agents because of NIL, name and likeness. Um, all of that going into consideration. So they're picking agents at a very young age. Kyle Strongen getting a mega deal for Brock Purdy is going to make him very attractive to these kids coming out. He is attractive now to kids coming out because he's a nice guy. He's a solid, good reputation and, kind of a smaller agency, not one of the mega ones like Drew Rosenhaus or CAA or any of those big agents yet. Um, so he's a good guy for, look at Brock Purdy. He was number 262 in the draft, signed with Kyle Strongen, and now he's going to get a mega deal. But what that says is that Kyle Strongen can't accept something lower like 45 or $50 million because of what it will look like to kids coming out. So that has a factor along with the fact that it's going to be a mega contract for a quarterback. So there's all these different factors that are going into this negotiation. I don't think Brock Purdy holds out. I think he will show up for OTAs and, do some light work, maybe some passing with his receivers. I don't think he's that guy, but the 49ers have to take care of him because he is that guy. He's done everything that they have asked of him for the last 3 years on very, very low salary. He is loved in that locker room, and if they don't take care of him, it goes against everything the 49ers show the public. They take care of their players. They took care of Jordan Mason by letting him go to a solid NFC North team, getting paid $7 million guaranteed, potentially $12 million. The 49ers take care of their players. They let guys like Deebo Samuel find a good home like Washington, where he is going to, it's not a basement dweller team. It's a good team. These players that they have moved on to have gone to good teams. They haven't gone to teams that sorry to say it, Cleveland Browns or the Dallas Cowboys, who have been not very good for a really long time. I know you guys like that. Um, so there's a lot of factors going into this Brock Purdy deal, and the 49ers need to recorrect because this huge hit, 77, almost $80 million dead cap money, is something that they need to move on from and they need to get right because that money for Brock Purdy is going to start hitting next year, 2026. and beyond. So it's uncertain times. It's kind of crazy. Kyle Juszczyk comes back 2 years, $8 million, but we don't know what the guarantees are yet. One website is saying that it's $7 million guaranteed. I really don't think so. Um, I know it goes against the younger, cheaper type of message that John Lynch said, but we don't know what the guaranteed money is. He comes back on a 2 year, $8 million deal. Last year was 2 million, I think 2 years, $6 million. 1.2 is guaranteed, and the 4 point extra was due this year. And they released him before he could get that money. So we don't know whether it's going to be $2 million this year and then $6 million next year. It's backloaded. So Kyle Juszczyk could be making more money. I would think he would make more money than last year, inflation and whatnot going forward, but it could be weighted completely differently. So when those numbers about the guarantees on his contract come out, we will definitely talk again. So 49ers have some work to do. They've got to find do a really good job in this draft, find players who are going to contribute immediately, and get those young guys on the same page as the veterans, the core players like the Fred Warners, the George Kittles, Christian McCaffrey, Trent Williams, Nick Bosa. They've got to get them on that same page. So, got a lot of work to do, but that doesn't mean they won't play deep into the postseason or have a really good record this coming year. So, stay tuned. We'll have more. Thank you so much for watching this channel, and please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button. Really appreciate it. And if you have any questions about what's going on with the 49ers, other than what the heck is going on, I'll try to explain it as much as possible. I'm not trying to be super positive. I'm not trying to be super negative. Someone was saying I'm never negative. They've got a lot of work to do. They've got $77 million in dead cap. It's not good. But this is what John Lynch forecasted. They've made some bad decisions in the past, like, you know, some of the draft picks that were high, going after Trey Lance. That didn't work out well. Javon Kinlaw, he's gotten a huge contract, but he wasn't great when he was with the 49ers because he dealt with those knee injuries. Deebo Samuel, huge contract for Brandon Ayuk, and he's probably not going to be ready for week one, maybe the first half of the season. So they've made some bad decisions. It's not all roses and flowers over here. It's no, they've made some mistakes and they've got to live with them. So we'll just discuss it all here. Stay tuned and thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you soon. Happy Sunday.